Welcome back to Inside the Crease. I am your host, Holden Worth. Here we're going to talk some hockey. This episode is going to be focused on the May 10th Game 5s. We love a day of just Game 5s. Those are some of our best, and we're going to dive right into Game 5s. Before we get right in, actually pause. I do want to mention right off the bat, one thing with hockey is the names. They can be tricky. They can be tough. We've got a lot of people with some very cool names that I struggle with pronouncing. So give me some grace with pronunciations, and let's just enjoy the show. All right, right into the first game of the night, which was Bruins Hurricanes. Ooh, two good teams battling it out in this series, coming into a Game 5 deadlocked at 2-2. Who's going to break free? Who's going to take over? Carolina's at home. Are they going to take home ice? Yes. Yes, they are, in dominant fashion. They're going to win 5-1 over Boston. Uh-oh, Boston. Looking at the scoring summary from this game, Carolina, yes, please. 2 power play goals and an empty net goal, taking advantage of advantages. You will never hear me not talk about how good that is and how important it is. Take advantage of your advantages. And jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first period. You're at home. You're deadlocked. You want to make a statement? Score first. Score second. You know what? Come out in the second period, score third. Go into the third period thinking, hey, I think this is ours. I think we got this game. We play a good game, we're good. You did just that. And you know what? If you want to be baller like the Panthers are, sorry, not the Panthers. Oh, dear. Like the Hurricanes are, Carolina Hurricanes. If you want to be baller like the Hurricanes are, after you're up 3-0, come out in the third period and score a fourth. Boston sits in the locker room in intermission, goes, all right, 3 goals. Carolina goes, no. 4 goals. We're going to score 1 more. So, exciting for Carolina. And I gotta go back and say how much I love that you scored on 2 of your power plays. And you had 5 power plays, and you scored on 2 of them. That's really good for a playoff game. Was a very important playoff game and a best-of-7 series. Game 5 is huge. You now have 2 games to win 1, whereas Boston has to win both. To score 2 power play goals, they understood the importance of this game. They were at home. They let the crowd fuel them. They went out, and they scored like crazy, scoring 5 goals in a Game 5. There you go. Sounds cool. That's good. And we got to give a shout-out to our guy, Anthony DeAngelo. 3 points on the night. Star of the night, maybe. Save that for later. Teravainen and Trocheck. So 3 Hurricanes had 3 points. That's a team effort. You're working together. All of them had more assists than goals, which we know we love assists. Team first. Take over. Be yourselves. On the Bruins side of things, tough game. You only scored 1 goal. Gave up 5. 1's empty net, so gave up 4 true goals. But in a Game 5, not what you want. You're turning around. Let's look down at our shot chart, one of my favorite charts to look at after a game, and it tells the story. You look at, I love seeing all the dots. Where did the players shoot from? And we see majority of the shots are in Carolina's favor, but there's a nice little chunk in there, right in between the hash marks in front of the goal, where Carolina shot the puck a lot of times, and 2 of them are goals. Boston is very spread out, and only a couple in that kind of money area, and only one of them was the goal. So they got their goal where you need to get them up close right in front of the crease, but Carolina got an extra one there and a bunch from other places as well. They got 2, it looks like, at the point, 1 at the face-off dot, so close enough. So it's big in favor of Carolina, which you're going to see a lot of. Oh, if this team won, it's in favor of them, obviously, the shot chart, because they're going to score more goals. But it's always interesting to see. Usually a team that won has more shots, at least inside the hash marks, face-off dots right before the crease. They get a lot more action in there. That's how they score all their goals, and that's what Carolina did, which is good for Carolina. Looking at the series as a whole, we look at how Carolina has not lost at home. Neither team's lost at home. So that's a fun little thing. Neither team's lost at home. So you look, Game 6, we're in Boston. Is Boston going to keep this streak going? Or is Carolina going to break it? It's advantage Carolina the whole way. They are the favorite seed. They do get home advantage. If they don't lose at home, they win the series. So If you're Carolina, I think obviously you want to end this game in game 6, but you're not too scared. You haven't lost at home. It's a big home field advantage, home rink advantage. Let's go home rink advantage. It's a big home rink advantage in Carolina. Those fans love them. They have a lot of fun with them after the games, doing a lot of fun stuff. So this cool series that at home's going to win it. It looks like if you want to win the game, you score 4 or honestly 5 goals. Get rid of game 3. Who cares about game 3? You score 5 goals. The winner scored 5 goals 4 times, which is kind of funny. And as things go, I mean, if we're just continuing a trend, if it was 5-1, 5-2, 4-2, 5-2, it's 5-1, so the next game will be 5-2. Carolina 5-2. Predict that, computers. Let's turn and look over the series. Let's start with Boston, because we haven't talked about them at all, really, as they were the losing team, and it was a little upsetting. We look at Boston in this series. Their guy has been Brad Marchand, which is a surprise to nobody, with 9 points in 5 games, which is impressive and clapworthy. He's been doing a nice job, kind of 3 goals, 6 assists, getting others involved, but also getting his scoring up there. Patrice Bergeron's there with 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists, and you got 2 guys, Pasternak and Coyle, both have 4 points. I think if you're Boston, your biggest thing, at least my biggest thing that I heard while watching the game and from people talking about it, is how's McAvoy feel come game 6. He played game 5 without practicing at all, a little injured. They said he looked good. He felt good. I didn't see anything that stood out to me. So I think if I'm Boston fans, I just hope that McAvoy feels a little better, feels a little more ready, a little confident on the ice, that he's able to impact. He hasn't scored yet. He only has 2 assists in the series. You definitely want more out of him if you're Boston. And then, I mean, you got to turn your attention to that front line. That's the big 3, I think. If you Pasternak, Bergeron, and Marchand, I mean, you got to look at them. You got to say score first, score early. I know you guys lead us in points. You need to lead us the whole way. We need you guys to do something. Yeah, that's kind of big. I mean, those 3 guys are gonna take over. On the Carolina side of things, they don't have anyone with 9 points, but they have an 8 and a 7. And Anthony DeAngelo, after last night, jumps into tied for the playoff lead in assists with 7 of them. He only has 1 goal in defenseman, but I mean, he's running the show up there, passing the puck around, getting it to the guys to shoot, doing great. Finding Trocheck, finding Aho, Teravainen has a goal, so good assist play here as well. I mean, an 8, a 7, and 3 5-point getters, spreading it out a little bit. 2 defensemen there as well. It's impressive to look at when you're leading. Your guy leading is defenseman, Cal McCarr-esque. I don't think anyone's Cal McCarr, but it's always good when a defenseman leads you in assists. It's an offensive defenseman. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're passing the puck in, or they're taking shots that are getting rebounded immediately right at the goal. And those are the goals you want. You want a hard shot, rebound right there. So Anthony DeAngelo's doing great. Trocheck, keep it up. I think if you're Carolina, in Game 6, you turn to Sebastian Aho and you say, look, man, in Game 5 here, you didn't score. You had 1 assist. Good job. With like assist. You have 2 assists. Sorry, 2 assists. So good job. We love the assists. 2 assists. That's great. Team player. You're Sebastian Aho. We need some goals. We need at least a goal out of you. Let's ice this game. Let's put them away. Let's be done with them. And the goaltending in this series has been funky. If you're at home, goalie's been great. If you're on the road, not so much. So I think Carolina maybe tasting the victory, or are they relaxing in it too much and saying, we have 2 games to spare and we can lose this one? So it's interesting to see which way Carolina goes. Do they come out flat-footed and we're worried, or do they come out on fire and put the knife down? All right, not the knife. Oh, that's dark. We don't like that. Put the foot down and end it, and don't let Boston have any life at all. Okay, let's move on to our next game of the night, which was LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers. Game 5, as this is Game 5 night. Connor McDavid highlights the teams on the players on these teams. Let's look into this game. So the series 2-2 tie. Oh, we love it. We love those close series, especially in round one. How exciting. This one is back and forth. Let's trade some games. It's Kings, Edmonton, Kings. Back and forth. The wins beside the game one, which was a close 4-3. Everything else was a demanding wins. It's 6-0 for Edmonton, 8-2 Edmonton, and then 4-0 for the Kings. Coming into game 5, you're in Edmonton. It kind of feels like it's game 5, so it's a big game. Kind of want to win this one. You want to lock yourselves into being the favorite for the rest of the series, and the Kings do just that, stealing game 5 in Edmonton, 5-4 in overtime. Ooh, baby, they'll need a little extra time for this one. And what a game it was. The Kings bust out of the gates. They have a 4-2 lead past halfway through the third period. Feels like it's a lock. They get another power play. They're like, all right, this is kind of our stuff. We just scored a power play goal to get our fourth goal. Now we got this, but Draisaitl says, no. Don't doubt us just yet. And he scores a short-handed goal. Ooh, taking advantage of the other team's advantage. You don't see that often, and those are fun to get. And then Draisaitl says, we're not done just yet. Scores a power play goal to tie things up and send it to overtime. And oh boy, the arena screaming, yelling, excited. We're going to OT. We score the last two goals. We got this. Oh, no. Kempe scores a minute and 12 seconds into the overtime period to end things off. Win the game for the Kings. Send them in to a 3-2 series lead. Looking at this game, Kempe, who scored the game winner, had another goal as well and an assist, so 3 points in the night. Really good game. And Stetcher had 2 points in the night for the Kings. For the Oilers, Draisaitl had 3 points, 2 goals and assists. McDavid had a goal and 2 assists. But even though you have 2 3-point getters in a 5-4 win, it's not enough. As the star power duo of Draisaitl and McDavid continues to struggle in the playoffs. They have great numbers in the regular season. They get to the playoffs, and it is tough. And these Kings, they're feisty. They'll fight you. They don't have any star. They don't have any special, playoff player. They got Deneau, who has 5 points in the playoffs. Moore has 5. Kempe has 5. Stetcher has 4. Iafalo has 4. Nobody that's crazy special. 5 points in 5 games is your average player. Whereas you look at the Oilers, and they've got McDavid with 9. Draisaitl with 7. Kane has 6. Then you have your 2 5s with Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard. So it looks like the Oilers are the best player in the series, and they do. They have the 2 best. But the Kings have consistency, and they've been playing really good. They got a good goalie. Jonathan Quick went to the same high school as him. Whoops. No biggie. He's playing well, and these Oilers, they got to figure something out. They got to take game 6. They got to turn stuff around. This Kings did everything they could right here. And oh boy, do I like the shot charts for both these teams. Almost all the goals are coming under the face-off dots. I've got 2 goals, both for the Kings, that come above the face-off dots. Got a lot of shots right around the face-off dot for both teams. The Kings took a lot more shots as they pounded the net and got some shots off, and it paid off, especially in the end. To get that game-winning goal, it's important. That's awesome to see for them as we go into the series going forward. Go Oilers. Let's send this one to 7. That'd be exciting. That'd be fun. But interested to see how Game 6 goes in LA. Crowd will be hype, popping. It should be a good time. It should be fun. Okay, our next game of the night is the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. Watched a little bit of this game. It was a fun, exciting start to the game, is what I'll say. Ryan O'Reilly, right out of the gate, power play goal. Ooh, don't we love it. Then, back-to-back power play goals by Minnesota, and the place was bumping after the second one. Fans going crazy, excited. Their team's 2-1 lead. You take that, and end of the first period, you're ahead. Let's go. Second period, St. Louis ties it up. And then the third period was the Vladimir Tarasenko period. My man said, I'll put you guys on my back. I'll take over this game. I'll score my hat trick in the third period, a one-period hat trick, ending it with an empty net goal. Usually they don't count. When it's a hat trick, it counts. So a hat trick for Tarasenko to win them the game. Really nice play by the St. Louis Blues. Oh, dear Lord, by the St. Louis Blues. Second one in Minnesota. This series had been a back-and-forth one. Like we've seen a lot. St. Louis winning the first one, Minnesota winning 2 back-to-back, St. Louis taking another one. Now Minnesota's back on the front foot, looking to take one more and win the series. I love that after the first period, there was only one more penalty. It was in the second. It was right away. And then there were none after that. Teams said this is an important game. This is must win. We're going to stay out of the box. Both teams had 2 penalties. St. Louis got both of theirs done in the first period. They said, this is our game. We're going to win this, and we're going to not give the other team an advantage at all after this. So that's really cool to see all of that. Tarasenko, obviously, with the hat trick on the night, and Buchnevich has 2 assists for the Blues, which is good stuff for them. On the other side, Fiala has 2 points with 2 assists, and Kaprizov has those 2 goals in that first period. Binnington getting the win, I think is good news. The man had some bad playoff numbers the past 2 seasons after that Stanley Cup that the Blues won. He has been awful for them in the playoffs. So to win this one, I believe he won one more of these playoffs. Really doing nice things for the Blues. I think you get your trust back in him. He looked really comfortable playing the puck in that game. They're talking about how that's something that he's worked on a lot. So that's awesome to see. He's a good goalie. We just need him to be confident, and they will do good things. In this game, the score sheet does show the St. Louis Blues had a lot more people impacting the game. They had 10 people with at least 1 point. The Minnesota Wild had 4. So if you're the Minnesota Wild, you only scored 2 goals in this game. It's not a huge deal. My biggest tip for you would be don't just score in the first period. Score some goals in the second, score some goals in the third, keep the goals spread out. If you're going to score in the first, score 5. And this series is a funky one where there haven't really been any close games. It's kind of been blowout one way or the other. I mean, 3-goal leads the shortest it's had. That's been the past 2 games. So if you want to win game 6, score 3 goals, and the other team can't touch you. I think that's what we learned from these 2 teams. Looking at the series as a whole, Kaprizov leading the Wild with 8 points, 7 goals, which is a lot of goals, and only 1 assist. So selfish, but every team needs a selfish player in the playoffs, and that's okay. It's allowed. Then you've got 2 guys with 5 points there and a 4, which looks pretty good. And on St. Louis's side, you've got Perron and O'Reilly, both have 7. Tarasenko's up to 5, which is awesome, and you've got a bunch of 4s. If I'm a Blues fan, I'm feeling really good. You won this game, and Tarasenko finally got fully involved in the series. Going into this, my man had 2 points. Now he's got 5 with the hat trick. He's in the series. He's part of the series. You want him to be scoring goals and doing great things. You want him to be there with O'Reilly and Perron. So it's good to see Tarasenko coming along, joining the team. It's good to see Binnington playing well, doing good things. Yep, he's 2-0. I'm looking at his stats right now. 2-0 in the series. Good stuff for the Binster. Keep it rolling as we run through the rest of the series. Looking at game 6 in this series, it's in St. Louis. St. Louis has the series lead. This one feels like it might be over in 6. It might not go 7. Minnesota would need an early push like I had in this game and then continue it. I don't know how much more you can get out of Kaprizov. He's got 7 goals so far. He leads the playoffs in goals. So if you can match their hat trick, Tarasenko's hat trick, with Kaprizov hat trick, that's great. If you can get some other guys going, if you can get Zuccarello going, if you can get Fiala going, if you can get Eriksson Ek going, there's a lot of guys there. So who can have a game
in Game 6 to put this, to put the series tied up, take it to Game 7, and on the St. Louis side, you've got your guys. You big three, Perron, O'Reilly, Tarasenko. I mean, trust them. Let's put this game out of reach. Let's end it. Let's move on. Let's get ready for the next series. And let's get ready for our final series of the night, which was, a fun game. Tampa Bay, Toronto, Game 4. Just like all the others, it's a 2-2 tie. I don't know the last time I've seen 4 Game 5s on the same night, all tied 2-2. And that's just so fun. And this is the ultimate you take one, I take one game or series where Toronto took the first one, Tampa Bay took the second one, Toronto took the third one, Tampa Bay took the fourth one. So as precedent says, Toronto should take this one, and they did. They won it 4-3 in a thriller. An absolute thriller of a game. 3 goals in the first 2 periods combined. Going into the third period, Tampa Bay is up 2-1. You're in Toronto, so the fans are cheering the team on. Let's go, let's get in this. And oh boy, do they. Morgan Rielly scores right into the third period. Big goal. Tavares gets involved. Nylander gets involved. Toronto ties things up, and then just over a minute later, Nylander gets his, and now they're in the lead. They're cheering. The fans are going wild. Then a little bit later, McDonough, ex-Ranger Ryan McDonough, ties it back up. Gets his first goal of the series. A nice shot by McDonough to score that goal. And they're right back in this game. It's tied up. You're like, oh boy, here comes the Lightning. No. The boys do it. Marner to Matthews. Stadium goes crazy. Or rink, I guess the rink goes crazy. Place erupts. I mean, Matthews is so cool, so awesome. Both teams took advantage of a power play in this game, which is great to see. Looking at the penalties, Tampa Bay, what is you doing? Too many men on the ice penalties? That's a penalty you can't have in the playoffs. We understand the cross-checkings and the interference and the hookings and the slashings, they happen. But too many men on the ice just can't happen. You're either over-eager or not paying attention, and it's going to get you in trouble in these games. That's not something you want to see out of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and it looks like one of them was taken advantage of for a goal. So that's a stupid mistake that can't happen. For the Lightning, Kucherov obviously leads the way with points with 2. They have 8 people that record a point, which is nice. You scored 3 goals, but 8 people are on the score sheet. Really nice to see. The Maple Leafs, Giordano leads the way with 2. Nylander also has 3 points. 3 points for Nylander. My bad. Look at that. Looking at the wrong thing. Look at the plus minus there. Don't really care about the plus minus in all honesty. Nylander leads with 3 points. Tavares has 2. Giordano only 1. And you also have... Oh, no, you had 9 people who have a point. So one more person has a point. One more goal. Look at that. And your 9th person is Matthews on my sheet. Matthews scored the game-winning goal. That's awesome to see. Let's take a deeper dive into the series stats of this team. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, you've got 2 guys up at 7, an offensive man and a defenseman, which, to me, shows how good this team is. You've got teams with their defensive star. You've got teams with their offensive line or their, special, once-in-a-generation talent. This team's got it on both sides of the puck. Hedman's got 7 points, 5 assists, and 2 goals for the defense, and Kucherov has 7 points, 6 assists, and 1 goal. Both of them team players, sharing the puck, passing it around. That's special to see. You have 11 people who have a goal in this series, which is a lot for 5 games, and that's awesome to see. I think if you're the Lightning, you'd like to see Stamkos have more than 3 points at this point in the series. That's something you really would like to see more of. You'd like to see Braden Point have more than 2 points in this series. You'd like to see Sergachev have more than 2 points. So I think those are some people to look for in Game 6, especially now that you're down. Your backs are against the wall. This is where good teams play their best, and this team is very good. I would look Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman in Game 6 to highlight the score sheet. And then on the Maple Leafs side, it's the guys you expect up top. It's Matthews and Marner with 7, Nylander with 5, and Morgan Riley with 5. Tavares is there with 4. A lot of guys doing good things. A lot of guys playing their part. You go all the way down. A lot of people have at least 1 point in this series. Only 4 people don't. What are you doing, those 4 people? The heck? Those 4 people have not played in all 5 games, so that'll do it. That'll be your thing there. Shout out to Bunting. Michael Bunting, 3 points in 4 games. Play him more, maybe. But I think Game 6, I think you turn to the people who are leading the way for you. You turn to Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares. And you say, get us home. And this will be a big game for the Maple Leafs. Can you knock off the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions? Before we end this series, I'm going to take a quick look at the shot charts, and this is a very interesting one. So look at the Maple Leafs first. Obviously, they score 4 goals in this game. All of them are right near the circles. You got 1, 2-ish under the hash marks, 1 right at a circle, and run right outside of a circle. Pretty good. Uptight, close in their shots. All of Toronto's goals are outside the faceoff dot, which you don't see a lot. And it shows they got some good defensemen. They got some nice shooters. They do. They got all of that. Very impressive to see that they scored all their goals from outside there. I would expect, I didn't see everything from this game, was a little busy. Sorry, can't watch all 4 games every night. I would expect they got some good screens in front with some really nice shooting, which I know they have on their team. So this will be an exciting one. Tune into Game 6 in this series. I definitely say the Lightning, 2-time defending champs, they don't want to go out easy. Toronto, up-and-coming team, a lot of young stars. They want to prove they're going to do it. This is their year. They're going to take Tampa Bay out. Awesome sauce. And to end the episode today, we're going to look at a couple things. Some stats. First, looking at assist leaders, as we have the Sevens, Crosby and Makar from the day before. They are now joined by Anthony DeAngelo and Connor McDavid up there with 7 assists. Makar still leads in overall points. And now Kaprizov leads in goals. He's up to 7. So good for Kaprizov. You got your team statistics here. And Colorado Avalanche, obviously, they're done. Of the teams we talked about today, the Hurricanes are up there. Scored 19 goals, only given up 13, doing a really nice job. The Bruins have only scored 13, obviously the opposite of the Hurricanes. So, interesting to see that how much better the Hurricanes after 1 game. Now they'd score 5 more goals, so 4-ish more goals. I don't know, but impressive to see that. The Kings are a weird team where they're doing really well, but their differential's terrible because the games they lose, they don't score anything. So the Kings are a funky team. Might want to watch them. Their differential doesn't match their win percentage. That's what we got there. And now let's do 3 stars of the night. Three stars of the night, focusing on 3 players who really brought it for their teams. A couple things we take into account for 3 stars of the night. Obviously, we like to see a W. To get a star and not be on the winning team, you got to have a special game, hat trick, 4 or 5 points, kept your team in it, important goal, something like that. We like to see a W. We like to see multiple point games. Obviously, we got a lot of 3-point games in this past night. A lot of guys to choose from there. Usually going to be offensive stars unless we get some sort of shutout and then you look towards a goalie. But I'm thinking on this night, our 3rd star of the night is going to go to Adrian Kemp. Kempe, how do we pronounce this name? But saying it looks like it's Kemp. Looks like it's Adrian Kemp. Adrian Kemp has 3 points on the night. He gets the W for the Kings. On the road W, which I think is big. 2 goals in this game-winning goal. Helps his team establish that lead in Game 5. That's big for Adrian Kemp. So, congrats to Adrian Kemp on our 3rd star of the night.
second star of the night, I think it's going to go to our guy, Anthony DeAngelo, defenseman. Got the W for Carolina. 2 assists and a goal. You know we love the assist getters. You know we love the team players. But special night. You get the win. You did it. You're a defenseman. You still led the way in points for your team. You're now tied for the most assists in the entire playoffs. That deserves some recognition. Second star of the night, Anthony DeAngelo. And your first star of the night, the guy who won the night, in my opinion, is none other than Vladimir Tarasenko. Our guy won on the road. That's a big deal. Going to another rink in Game 5, pivotal game, and you win it. 3 goals. He had that third period hat trick where he took over the game. He said, "We are going to win this game. Minnesota, you have nothing for us." Took it over. 3 goals. Got the hat trick in 1 period. That's impressive. Not everyone can do that. So, round of applause for Adrian Kemp, Anthony DeAngelo, and Vladimir Tarasenko. That is all for today. Thank you so much for joining us on Inside the Crease. We look forward to talking more hockey with you and enjoying the games that we have on tonight's slate.